Welcome back to Stargirl. This is season 3, episode 2, The Suspects. Last time we had a murder in Blue Valley, and Cindy was standing over the body, which, again, I obviously set up and to add dramatic tension and stuff. I think it's curious, curious as in interesting that it was Sportsmaster when he was inside when he broke into their house. He was pretty much saying, "Don't trust the fucking gambler. He's evil," stuff like that. So, I believe the Crocs and they're sincere, but it's also like I don't know, they're doing a good job of like building up that who do you trust kind of thing because. Like I said, I do believe some of these villains are trying to reform, and I know like deep down in my heart of hearts and my logically speaking that this is some sort of setup by Mr. Bones and that whole organization. With the TV cameras, they're watching everybody anyway, so I know that's what it's related to, but it's just like they're doing a good job so far of throwing some suspicion around. Obviously, Starman. Like I said, I'm glad that more people. I watched some reactions and some comments and stuff that pretty much nobody trusts Starman. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who's like distrusting of that. But again, I don't quite know yet if it's mind control, if it's a clone, if it's some shapeshifter. There's a lot of different answers for what's happening with him. But yeah, let's just get in the episode and see what happens. Again, I'm messing with the layout. We'll see how this goes, just for the lighting purposes today. I figured it'd be better this way. Anyways, but I can hear him dance again. That's just what I feel like is going to happen with the music they have going on.
Quack, quack, little friend.
There's definitely Royal Flush Gang. Like, they have to show up this season. Oh, the Crocs. It's definitely not Sportsmaster. Like, there was a fucking roar. That's the thing. Cindy, I'll believe, but.
Are you, Becky?
And then, yeah, somebody else was watching, so people think this is the shade. It is the shade. That's definitely the shade.
Back together.
Yeah.
When she showed
How
up,
did he
she found
die?
the trailer
What-
destroyed and the gambler
how's
dead.
his body looking?
He said she was
there a
holding a
gunshot wound?
Cindy said she's.
And it just went off? Like what?
It accidentally went off.
Does he have a bullet wound? It looks like a bullet wound. Or a stab, maybe.
Wasn't shot. The goggles couldn't find a bullet wound anywhere.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that Cindy didn't kill him, Beth.
Cindy's strong.
Not that strong.
She's a walking science experiment. Who knows what else she's done to change
Yeah.
herself, Court?
dragging.
Yolanda's
changed her,
right,
and
but I
he's
know it's
dead.
not
Yeah,
Cindy.
because she killed him.
Making the former villains all suspects, including Cindy Berman.
I mean, it could be literally anybody. It could be you, Starman. Somehow. I don't know how, but... No. Statistically unlikely for him to be the killer. Oh, no. That's very suspicious, Cindy. Cindy. Oh, is she like falling apart? Like I said, very suspicious. I don't know what she's doing. It's not a good look. Gonna check if Grundy's still there. Looks like he's still there.
Bizarre
Freak
accident
tornado.
in trailer park leaves
Yeah.
one dead. The rest of Blue Valley thinks it was a tornado.
Serves Mr. Sharp right. God rest his soul.
Ma'am, who the fuck are you? Oh, jeez.
You're 3 again.
Who the fuck is this? Please. Who the fuck is that? Who the hell?
Paula.
I knew she was gonna be here for
We
no
didn't
reason.
do it.
Okay.
Are you talking about? Tell me about that. We would never risk going back to prison on some schmuck like Sharp.
Did they
JSA
get
last
paroled
night.
or are they
Did
just
Courtney mention it?
escaped convicts?
No.
I don't remember what happened with them. I know they like
She will.
broke out of prison,
Trust
but
me,
did
Barbara,
they get that
we have
cleared
been
up?
doing everything we can to fit.
Time into something, it makes it more special.
Why?
Man.
Because it shows you care.
Do you know how to bake?
No, not at all.
She knew exactly what was gonna happen.
About the gambler who died from a stab wound, you know, from like a shiv.
Like,
The sooner we can all
again,
move
Yolanda's
on.
in the right, but she needs to chill. Yolanda's correct. Like, she shouldn't, you know, be involved in the investigation because she's a suspect. Unfortunately, the stab wound is very suspect. So, what did you talk about with the gambler, sir? Why did you enter his home? Please.
Absolutely delighted his ears after only, what, 44 attempts?
I...
Utter pinnacle of perfection.
Is he lying?
Bravo.
Just to, like, make her stop, or...
At last.
Oh, no, he's actually like, okay. Yeah, move the fuck over. What are you,
I need a little.
what are you doing?
Thank you.
Comfy?
Where were you last night?
I'm willing to let the past go. And the past, to someone like me, is everything.
I trust the shade,
This is a
but
time
now
when
it's
new
from his
beginnings
perspective, and I don't trust
Hold
it.
on, Hufflepuff.
I'm going to kill you.
Okay.
No!
Okay.
Oh, heavens. Can you credit me with a little subtlety?
Says.
What was that about, dude?
Hey, Sylvester. What was that in there? Huh? You're the sidekick, okay? I asked the questions. I take the
Sidekick.
lead.
We never agreed to this. We never agreed to being
That's
sidekick.
not how it's gonna work anymore, Sylvester. All town.
He saved
You
McNider,
scared those
remember?
people. They're just in there trying to enjoy a
Maybe he did
cheeseburger.
help kill
That's
somebody,
all.
but we have to give him credit. I don't know if he knows that.
I gotta cool off, okay? Thanks.
No. Stay with him. Trail him. We can't let him go. No. You taking your whole fucking backpack with you? Oh my god. And I forgot that the art teacher is gone too, so like he's got nothing. Does he know? What does he know? His grandparents talk to him. The ISA, or you just say, hey, we're like frost giants or some shit. Like what does he know? This is a power play by Sylvester. He wants to like one up Pat or something. Undermine his authority, that's what
It does look different than the picture.
You know what? Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
For the hope you give everyone around here. And for the love you have for your mom and Pat and sometimes Mike.
I'm so mad because like I like that side of Sylvester, but it goes against, I don't know, it just feels, I can't think of why, if he is bad, why is he doing this?
Oh, it says men, not boys. You can check it on the way out.
That's the kind of attitude that leads to toxic masculinity.
How was that?
I
Yes! Excellent question, Jakeem Mike. This is exactly why I spent years studying calligraphy. Boom!
that's many names.
The killer has many names.
How much is many?
What the hell does that mean?
Because that
Probably get out of here.
it just means they have an
Someone's
alias
real
basically.
tits
That
out.
could be any of our suspects still. Except for Grundy. Grundy is Grundy. I don't think he has many names.
I have no intention of dying. Ever.
Very funny.
He's my favorite
No, my
character.
dear girl. They had rather an impressive ceremony for the rest of the Justice Society of America. But for plain old Sylvester Pemberton, Pat Dugan was the only one there.
Oh my god.
Sylvester?
You killed the JSA!
Stop!
Okay. Sad to see him go, but it makes sense that he was showing up on the credits as a special guest, so
I screwed up.
he's not going to stay around. But he'll come back. He's definitely related to what's going on with Jade and Todd, so.
Things got out of hand.
No, Sylvester got out of hand.
We killed a man in cold blood.
Okay.
Not
For once,
running away from that.
for once, that's a good excuse, because I forgot about that.
It all started with the shade. It's not him I'm mad at.
It's myself. Okay. How many times are we going to have this moment?
It's me. I get to come back. here. Not them.
We're gonna talk about it at the end. I have a lot to say about that scene. Hour night.
I thought you'd fix the hourglass.
They're as strong as we think they are.
No problems, Rick.
Oh,
I am sorry.
So what do I do with them now?
what? That's not an answer, sir. I did notice the green sparks. It's definitely Todd.
You've already taught me so much.
Again, very clever with the
Pat's
reflections
taught
in the
me a
show.
lot, too.
Got the staff right there.
And the
That's
most
cool.
important, a life as Sylvester Pemberton.
That name is so bad.
Well, Blue Valley helped me find out who I am.
I don't think the Shade killed the gambler.
You think?
Yeah,
He-
neither.
Honestly, so far, Cindy is the prime suspect.
Who else is there?
Just based on the evidence. I know it's not her, but a lot of it points to her.
You're destined for greater things than art, Cameron.
So much greater.
Oh, ma'am. Why are you hiding out here? It's just... We trusted you, Cindy. We all trusted you. Did she really do it? Or is she just, like, adding on the coincidences?
It's only a matter of time before they find out.
I know.
What is happening? No, don't. Okay, we'll talk about the end here. So, like I said, they're really tacking on the fact that it's Cindy. I still want to trust that it's not her, but the fact that she has the laptop is very suspicious. You know, piled on with the fact it was a stab wound, Cindy, that she was there with the smoking gun, that she has super strength, and, you know, the trailer was torn up, so there's a lot of suspicious coincidences. And then why does she have the laptop? I can see a world where she took the laptop as, like, her own investigation, because we have seen a little bit of that right now so far, of, like, she knows that they don't trust her, so let me go try and solve things on my own. That was kind of her alibi with the murder, was that I was going to go investigate my own lead because you guys were too slow. So it fits her person, you know. But again, it's just too many coincidences at this point that I'm like, it might actually be her. With the Crocs there at the end, I think... I have no idea what they're going to do. You know, it's too vague at this point to say exactly what they're doing, but I think they're becoming suspects all of a sudden, because they do use sharp instruments at times. So stabbing isn't outside of their wheelhouse. It looks like she has super strength now. Yeah, you know, they've always had, like, super durability and super strength, but it wasn't like... I don't know. It just feels like they're like, okay, now they're like, oh, yeah, they actually have super strength. So that could explain why the place was torn up. Also, the fact that he did visit the gambler, or he was going to kill him, but something stopped him. So, you know, it's just a lot of, you know, there's some math to be done with them as well. There, you know, there could be some way that this is their fault. Going back to Cindy Quick, she's also experimenting with elixirs and stuff, so that's very suspicious as well. Why are you doing that? You know, she seemed like her shoulder hurt. She, like, popped it into place or something, so I don't know if she's, like, deteriorating because she is sort of a test tube baby of some sorts, and she's, like, trying to fix that, or is she trying to get more power and just she's going mad scientist route? You know, there's a lot of questions still with her. Speaking of questions, I really like this tone so far. What else do I have to say? With the Shade, he is... I forgot my words. Yeah, so like I said, you know, he was a guest star in the credits, so I you know, it's sad, but, like, you know, I could see it coming. I think he'll show up midway or near the end of the season again when they finally get to Todd Rice. because that's definitely what's going on with him. Something's going on with that. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't know if it's going to lead back to Mr. Bones as like trying to lure him in and, you know, depower him or what. But I know that, you know, I'm like 99% certain at this point that that's what's going on with his powers, is that something to do with Todd Rice is like, in you know, his powers are in flux because of it. We'll talk about Sylvester now. So that scene near the end where he's apologizing and he's like getting scolded by Pat and Barbara. Now I know Joel is known for his comedy. I can't say for certain. You know, I don't want to make the assumption, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he is not a dramatic actor, Joel McHale. So I'm just going to preface this rant with that. But based on this scene where he's apologizing for his mistakes, you know, I think I've seen enough of him in this show to know, or to make the assumption that he is not sincere. Every time that he's apologizing, he just, it doesn't reach his eyes. And I don't know if anyone else gets that. And again, this is all hinging on the fact that he's intentionally, you know, Joel McHale is acting and portraying this character in this way. That Sylvester, whenever he's talking and apologizing, it doesn't reach his eyes. Like there's always some sort of mask still going on. You know, I think he plays this asshole, you know, Joel plays the asshole kind of very well. And, you know, like when he's being the big macho man and, you know, I'm the superhero and you're the sidekick, and, you know, he's pushing shade and stuff. You know, I think he plays that very well. But again, it could just be maybe that's his, you know, as an actor, that's his wheelhouse. That's what he's good at doing. And the more dramatic stuff, he's just not as good as doing. But that's my one point of distinction right now, is like, is it that Joel McHale is not acting correctly, or is it that Sylvester is not acting correctly? Because I can interpret it both ways, and it's very different outcomes. You know, right now I'm still in the boat that Sylvester is not who we think he is, or something going on with him. Basically, still, it's not truly Sylvester. Because again, he talks a big game, but he doesn't back it up. Like, he's going to go apologize to Shade, but then in the same breath, he's going to start being pissed off about the fact that the Shade was part of the ISA. You know, it's like, if you're going to do one thing, stick to it. You can't flip-flop like that. And then, you know, he's going to go apologize to Pat about, okay, I'm sorry that I shouldn't have done that. You're right. We're partners. Hey, I learned my lesson. I just need to go steam, you know, cool off. And then you go break Courtney out of school. Like, I don't know. Again, it's just, if he is legitimately trying to be better, he's very frustrating. And so because of that, I feel like it could be legit, you know. There is a world, there is a script here where, you know, it's only the second episode. We have a whole season to go still. He hasn't learned his lesson yet, so that's fair. But if we're talking about suspects and stuff not adding up, this guy right here, not adding up. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Cameron, we haven't seen enough of him yet. I don't know what's going on with him. You know, obviously his powers are acting up. It's curious, like, why now? Is it like an age kind of thing, a puberty thing, where like, okay, it's that time of the year and you know, time of your life that your powers are coming in, because it matches up conveniently with all the things that are going on. You know, with, you know, suspicious stuff going on, and all of a sudden now your powers are flaring up. Why didn't it happen last year or not last year, but, you know, in the summer with Eclipso? It kind of started there, but it wasn't like active, you know. And then what did the grandparents tell him? You know, they're talking about his birthright and stuff, but, you know, it could be white supremacy. It could be, you know, frost giants or whatever they are. It could be restarting the ISA. It could, you know, there's so many things, like, we don't know enough about him yet. And I do like the sort of, again, the frenemies and the you know, enemies to lovers kind of thing he's got going on with Courtney. But like I said, I'm curious to see where it goes, but there's really not much to talk about at this point with him. I like that stupid little B plot with Paula and Barbara. But Jakeem, okay, so that's another clue I guess we have here. So Jakeem and Mike asked the Thunderbolt, who did it basically. And all the Thunderbolt said was that the killer has many names. How much is many? What are we defining as many? Because I would say 2 names is not many, but like 5 names could be many. How many is many? So obviously we have a bunch of suspects that are supervillains that, they have aliases. So Cindy Berman is Shiv, is the Dragon King's daughter, that's many. We have Sportsmaster, Crusher, whatever his fucking name is, Croc. We have Paula, Tigress, or she's Huntress now. Basically, it can't be Artemis because Artemis is Artemis. She doesn't have an alias. But I mean, it could even be like Sylvester Pemberton is Starman. There's a lot. The Star Spangled Kid. There's just a lot of like vagueness to that, so it doesn't help narrow anything down on. And that's obviously the point, but it does sort of narrow it down. And it could be like Mr. Bones. I don't know what else his titles are, but director of the DEO, yada yada. So it's a clue, but it doesn't help us narrow down too much because a lot of our suspects that we know about, I'm pretty sure it's a suspect that we don't know about, or it's not really a suspect because at that point we don't know who it is, but I'm pretty sure it's somebody that we haven't seen yet, or like it's not, I don't think it's the Croc still. I don't think it's Cindy truly, but again, I can't rule them out yet because there is evidence suggesting that it could be them. Especially with this name thing. So anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. Thanks for watching. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you guys think of this episode? I think this episode is a lot better than the first one, to be honest. But that's to be expected because the first episode is always set up, and you gotta get into what's going on before you can actually deep dive into it and get the nitty gritty. So anyways, I'm very excited for the season. See who did it. See how it happens. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode.